Hey guys, it's the Investment Guru here. Today we're going over a brief overview of Mirandus and also having an in-depth look of Mirandus NFTs. We'll also be looking at Opensea and how to purchase these currently undervalued NFTs. To top it off, we'll cover how to buy Mirandus utility token Materium, as well as show a brief gameplay of Mirandus. So first off, we're going to go over a brief background of Mirandus. So Mirandus is a blockchain-based MMORPG. Mirandus will have its own ecosystem, which allows players to be rewarded in many ways, such as own land, which can be rented to other players, collecting revenue through building NFTs, collecting a fee by renting out character NFTs with special bonuses, just to name a few. Mirandus in my eyes is a lot like World of Warcraft, except it will be set in medieval times and allows players to be rewarded for the time and effort spent playing the game. Plus, in-game assets will be transferable to other players for cryptocurrency. Mirandus in-game token is Materium, which is a cryptocurrency, thus holding real-world value. The harder you work in game, the more you'll be rewarded in real life. Although we are still months, maybe even years away from a fully fledged game, along with a fully functional ecosystem, I believe this game will be a flagship for the rest of Metaverse gaming, not only but also change gaming as we know it today. The developer of Mirandus is Gala Games. Head of the development is Michael McCarthy, who is a former creative director at Zynga, director of development for Massive Black, which is a Fallout series, and president of games at Gala Games. The first NFTs we'll be discussing are land deed NFTs. So land deeds are the land of Mirandus, which have a certain number of plots. Each plot can have that certain size building on it, depending on the land deed. So for example, we've got a homestead. There's 1,000 total NFTs, so just to make it clear, there will never be any more land plots than this, so it's limited by scarcity. So a homestead will have a small plot, 1, which is a 5x5 plot, medium 0, large 0, grand 0, and also a farming plot. So this is the smallest of them all, but yeah, you can still have one small building and also a farming plot. So an outpost will be maximum of 200. You've got 4 small plots, 1 medium plot, and 4 farming plots. So it's quite a bit bigger in capacity, but also comes with a high price tag, as we'll see in Opensea later. And yeah, going down the list, I won't go through them all, but it basically gets more expensive the further you go, until you get the citadels, which citadels are basically 5 different factions, and each citadel is basically a king of Mirandus. So yeah, it's pretty interesting that, you know, these citadels, the last one went for I think over $3 million. So the price does shoot up, especially the further down you go down the list. But yeah, there's definitely potential there, and it's sort of in the eyes of the beholder. And I've wrote unknown down the bottom here for the citadels. I'm not 100% on what the capacity is, but I'd say yeah, it'd be a lot greater than say the town of Archduke, which gives you an idea that, you know, there's 22 small plots, 18 medium plots, 4 large plots, 1 grand, and 36 farming. So next we've got building NFTs. So buildings are placed on each land plot and have a limited amount. You can either put your buildings on your own land or rent out plots from fellow land deed owners in the land of Mirandus. So you can either basically own a land piece that we talked about last slide, or you can rent out plots from the different landowners and use your building on there, which then in return, you know, you can earn cryptocurrency by making certain things. For example, a bakery, you can make bread, which you can earn from fellow travelers, which then can cover the rent that you pay to the landowner. But just to give you an example, so you've got archery shops. You can have an archery stand, which is a 5x5. So like we said before, the homestead can have 1 5x5. So that could be potentially one of the buildings that you use. And you can go down here. These are all 5x5s. And then you got 10x10, 10x20, 20x20, and 20x40. So an armor shop, you can either have an armor stand, which is the smallest. A 10x10 is the armor shop. 10x20, large armor shop. 20x20, grand armor shop, etc. So there's only a limited supply of each. So some bigger land, for example, like Town of the Archduke, they may not have, you know, 4 buildings to put on their large plots. So then you could, you know, so they may want to bring someone else on, and you know, use your building because they don't have a building and it's empty a spot. So maybe, you know, they may not want rent because they need to have that certain shop inside their land, but it really depends on, you know, the supply of each and how many people were actually using the NFTs at the time. I think it's a great concept, and it allows for, you know, future growth, you know, for both parties. So we've also got more buildings. So you got lodging, mills, potion shops, stables, storehouses, taverns, temples, weapon shops, wood shops. So there's no set like what's going to be, you know, the most valuable. It's sort of up to the eyes of the beholder. But you know, obviously sleeping, you know, you'd think that would be a big thing. So maybe, you know, being well rested in the land of Mirandus is going to be important. So maybe this will have a high demand. Another thing's like a weapon shop. Maybe, you know, having weapons will be a big thing, you know, once the game rolls out. So that might be something that's worth, you know, your money or your time. But also you've got storehouses, so storage will obviously be important. So you can, you know, you can sort of go through it, make your own mind. You know, if you've got certain exemplars that, you know, which we'll cover in the next slide. You know, exemplars can have potion attributes. So if you've got a potion exemplar, you may want to get a potion shop, then sort of pair them together. And that may be something that, you know, you want to either do in Mirandus, be a potion master, for example, or you can rent those two things out to other players, and sort of, yeah, capitalize on that. So next we've got docks and ships. So this is more of a newer thing that's been introduced, but yeah, you can sort of see like a Kreia, which is the smallest. Sorry, the Picard is the smallest, but these two are uncommon. Yeah, the Picard was released at about 7,500, and currently on Opensea it's about $685. So you can see that there's a lot. There's a big price discrepancy at the moment, but I think, yeah, with such a low price, there becomes opportunity, and it allows, you know, people that have maybe been on the sideline because it was too expensive before to be able to re-enter into the market. So you can see the Kreia's got 250. Release price was $3,700, and OpenSea price is currently $2,000. So this, in my mind, considering it was released at 37, is a great buying opportunity. Not financial advice, but being nearly 95% down from its release price, you know, there's obviously a reason Gala Games released it at such a high price, being that it must have a higher utility once the game comes out. So that's sort of, you know, you can do your own sort of research and sort of your own thinking about it as to why, you know, if it's released at such a high price, maybe, you know, $2,000 is a bargain. So you got the Hoi, which is 100. It's rare. It released at 93,000. So they're, like, for me anyway, they're very expensive. But OpenSea price is 20,000. So you probably could put in an offer to get a little bit cheaper for someone desperate, but due to the low amount, there's less people that actually want to sell it, and will probably, you know, it's harder to bargain for. And so we go down 20, 50, 10. So, you know, the legendary one was $610,000 on release. So quite expensive, well, very expensive, $500,000. But yeah, there's obviously, you know, in the eyes of Gala, there's a reason why sea travel, for example, will be very sought after when Mirandus is fully brought out. So the docks now, they're sort of the land, what would you say, the sea land, if that makes sense. So that allows you to dock your ships there. So if you have a dock, people have a ship, they can, you know, pay you rent as a dock owner. So we've got dock, says 290. The rarity is uncommon. Release price was 37,000 and now it's about 2,500. So in my opinion, if I were to pick between a Doc and a Craya, for example, or a Doc and a Picard, well, yeah, I guess the price Picard's only 7,500 at release, but yeah, if I was to choose between a Craya and a Doc, considering their similar price, I think a land NFT or a C NFT would make more sense because there's more opportunity there, in my opinion. You know, you can't go on water if you've just got a dock. You need a ship, but you may be able to use someone's ship that's been docked at your dock, for example. Yeah, but this is all speculation at the moment, so it really, you know, it's up to you to how you think you will use it, or if it will be highly sought after and you want to make a return, for example. You got to think, you know, what project or what thing will really be highly sought after, or what, you know, won't be so sought after. And I think ships, for example, will be something that's quite rare, considering if you do the numbers here, there's only just under 1,000 ships ever to be made. So yeah, I think that will be something that, you know, the general person won't be able to afford. So it's going to be something that will be quite rare. And here's you can see down the bottom the different types of NFTs, but we'll go into Opensea and we'll explore that later. Lastly, we've got Exemplars. So this might be more, you know, more in your price range, especially considering the prices have dropped considerably on Opensea. So Exemplars will be the special characters used within Mirandus. So I'd just like to say Mirandus will be free to play when it comes, you know, to when it's fully developed. But at the moment you can buy these Exemplars, which sort of have special bonuses. Each character comes with their own bonus, which can help boost certain attributes to your character when playing in-game. Exemplars can either be used by the owner of the NFT, or it could be rented out to other players looking to step up their game. So Exemplars include human, dwarf, orc, halfling, elf. So as you can see, the further you go down, the rarer they get. So there's going to be a total of 25,000 humans. Example classes, so there's I think about 8 classes. But here's 2, True Providers and Strong Hands, which I think are most, in my opinion, probably going to be the most sought after. Once again, we'll go over a few of these in Opensea, and I'll show why. But the release price was about $600, and the cheapest exemplar you can get human-wise is $90. And then you go down the list, Dwarf, 186, Orc, 166, and you can sort of compare the price from release and from what they're actually being listed now, and find, you know, different opportunities. I think halflings could be a good buying point, considering they're roughly about 85% down from their release price. So, you know, Gala doesn't do anything just for no reason. There's obviously there's a reason why they've priced them at what they have, and yeah, I think that sort of shows, you know, the potential later on. There's also Mirandus Vox Collectibles. So this is not so much Mirandus orientated, it's more so it's a Vox collection, but it's a Mirandus edition. So Vox Collectibles are part of the Vox collection. They have multiple utilities, like being granted access into the future Vox Metaverse, but the additional utility includes pairing with your Mirandus exemplar to apply a special buff to your character within the game of Mirandus. So if you're looking to buy NFTs, I'm going to show you where you can get them from the Gala site, but also you can get them from Opensea. I'd recommend always looking at Opensea before you purchase anything off the site, purely because you'll probably get it cheaper. Or with current markets, you definitely will get it cheaper. So first, we go to store. So go to the Gala site, obviously first, then go to the store. So I've got all the NFTs that they've got for sale. if we simply go to Mirandus and filter out everything but Mirandus NFTs, you can see all the sort of NFTs that I've mentioned. So you got your ships, you got your land deeds. So we've got some buildings, all the buildings, as you can see down here, and all the land deeds have been sold out very early. They were very cheap when they first come out. But yeah, now, you'll pay a pretty heavy premium on Opensea, but that's sort of one of the reasons why Gala has upped the price on these NFTs, so that whales can't come in and buy 100 or so of them and really push up the price on the secondary market. So yeah, you can also see that there's some exemplars, but like I said, I'd probably look at Opensea first, because you'll get an 80 and maybe even more % discount on some of these NFTs. So yeah, I'm definitely looking to scoop up some, but for now, I'm just monitoring the progress that comes from Mirandus. So now if you want to buy some NFTs and get a bit of a discount on them, you can head over to Opensea, simply go up to the search, type in Mirandus. And so it's very important to make sure you get the right collection, because there's a lot of scams out there. But yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You got Mirandus with the blue tick, 182 items. Go over to Mirandus, and the other way you can check is we've got 15,000 owners and 17,000 total volume. So that's another great way to sort of tell you that this is the real collection, because there's so many owners and there's such a high volume. So now there's thousands of NFTs, maybe not thousands but hundreds. So now if you want to filter through this, you go to token run, and so let's say if we want to look at land deeds, you simply just press land deeds, and then you can have a look at different prices. So homesteads are definitely something that I'm personally looking at to buy. You can go over to homestead and you can see what price they have been listed previously. So in December, one of them went for 16 ETH. They also 4, 5, 6. But this is when Ethereum was trading at $4,000 or $5,000. So prices come down extremely, but yeah, nevertheless, if we go back here, December 2020, they were 0.2 ETH, etc. And yeah, they were even cheaper than what they are now. So even though price has gone down a lot, I think there's still a lot of growth to have, especially once the game rolls out. So it gives, if you come over here, you can see, Art Faz has got it listed for 2.2. The next one's 2.6, etc. So it keeps going up. So once hype comes back, these will get bought pretty quickly, and then price can return back to 8,000, 5,000. Pretty, it can happen pretty quick. And so we've got offers coming in for 1.4, and that's a great way, if you've got some Ethereum or Gala sitting on the side, you can put some offers in and hopefully even beat the market, because in current volatility times, people get a bit worried. They want to sort of find a little bit of liquidity, and this is a great way, you can put an offer in. And yeah, but the one thing I'd say is you really want, if you're going to buy one of these, you don't want to expect to just sell it in a week. You may be holding on to them for months. And I think with something like a homestead, and you want to play, it's definitely something to keep, because in the end it will enhance your gaming experience, in my opinion anyway. So if we come back to Mirandus, that's land deeds. So it depends on your price and how much money you've got. But yeah, they're definitely a lot more affordable than 20k or whatever they were selling for December last year. Exemplars, this is a great one if you've only got a few $100s that you want to throw at it, but you want to have some exposure. You can see the exemplar of the weavers. So if I go to true providers, you can see that's the most expensive. It's almost double of the one that's the weavers, and that's purely because of one sentence. And the one sentence is, behind the scenes, the great cities will acknowledge their power actually rests with their dedicated experts. Bonus to all farming and ranching abilities. So obviously to the public, they're thinking, oh, farming and ranching is going to be important. So these guys will be, highly sought after. So you can see December last year when there was a big pump, they pumped up to about half of Ethereum. And once again, that's when Ethereum was around $5,000. So they were going for, $2,000. Now they're only going for $150. So it gives you an idea that, yeah, there could be, some massive potential here, especially, this price back in December may have been cheap, considering once the game is launched and if there's high utility there, who knows what the price is going to be at that time. And yeah, once again, you can see, so NFT Infinity, or whatever his name is, he must have a few, or he's keen to sell. And so that way you could potentially put an offer for 130 and, save a bit of a buffer there. And even though, it's only saving a little bit, it might cover the gas fee, which, if you're buying a few, that can also add up. The last one I'd show you is buildings. So you can get a token run again. Buildings. So these are a little bit more expensive than Exemplars. I guess the True Provider's more expensive than this one, but they can go up pretty considerably. The blue one is about 1 ETH at the moment. So these are a lot more expensive than what they were originally sold off on the Gala website in 2020. But even though, let's say the large barn is 1 Ethereum now, which is just $1,000. Back in December or November, they're going for about 2 Ethereum, which once again, Ethereum was around 5,000. So they were going for about $8,000, somewhere around that mark. But the reason why they're going to be sought after is because of the limited amount. So there's only 110 of them, which means, if you need a large barn, you're going to have to fight with other people to get, the price that you want. So there's 88 owners, so it's quite spread out, so not many people own a lot of them. But if you come over to, owners, click on that, you can see, who owns the most. So we got Moondoggy, who owns 4 of them, 2, 5, but they're pretty spread out other than that. Everyone's sort of got 1, which, if it's very spread out, it helps to keep price relatively high because, people not, less acceptable to sell because they actually want to use that in their land later on. And the very last one I'll show you is docs. So if we go to, so docs aren't in token run, they're more in category. So we go to docs, 4 docs. So you got the cheap doc, well, the cheapest is 2.39, which I think is relatively good for considering there's only 300. So if you come back here, they were going for 2 something ETH. They spiked up to 5 for one sale. So 3, 4, which they were selling for considerably a lot more than what they are now, probably around the $20,000 mark, and now they're only 2,500. So it seems like a lot of money, but if you can, let's say if you're earning $200 a day just by having it, which is complete speculation, what is that worth? And generally if something's earning $200 a day, times that by 100, and that's sort of what generally the NFTs will sell for, maybe even more. So if it's, only $200 a day, it could be worth $20,000. And I think that's where this sort of price in December was getting priced in. But $200, it could only earn $20. We don't really know. It all depends on how successful the ecosystem is and how well, I guess, Materium does, the actual in-game token. So the other thing I wanted to show you guys is how to get to the Vox Collectibles. So this is not a direct product of Mirandus, but it, as I said before, you can use them to pair with your exemplars. So if you just go Vox Collection, so you can see Vox Collectibles Mirandus. So there's the Vox Collectibles, which are the original ones, which is sort of paired with Townstar, and these guys are paired with Mirandus. So yeah, you can see like human pit fighter. So if you had a pit fire exemplar, that would match your, you would match your exemplar. Goldsmith human would match your, your goldsmith exemplar, etc. Before I go on to the gameplay, I just wanted to show you guys how to find Materium. So go to CoinMarketCap, type in Materium. So here's Materium. It's only got a $1 million market cap. So in my opinion, this is a huge opportunity. Like a 100x opportunity even. And people might think, yeah, that's crazy. But if it's only a $1 million market cap, then the opportunities are endless. So if we look at the price history, it hit nearly $1. Now it's all the way back down to 15 cents. Yeah, I think if this game really takes off, a $1 billion market cap is not out of the question. So the volume is extremely low, because if we go to market, we can see that it's only been traded on Uniswap. So even if it starts getting listed on some exchanges, once the game's closer to being out, there can be extreme growth within the token. And it's only on 1,000 watch lists, which is extremely low, and it's not on many people's radars. So I think that's why, it could be a high potential of growth. Now once you're in, you can see it sort of comes up with a little spiel. And yeah, the Mirandus team has worked really hard to build some of the core client and service features over the past 5 months. Along with performance improvements, we focused on art style, dynamic grass system, play movement modes, and physics, fundamental NFT wallet operations, client/server, synchronized inventory handling, and a brand new projectile system that allows everyone to play in the same zone and shoot arrows at a very simple enemy. You just simply go to shoot some goblins, loads you in. So I tried to record some gameplay, but due to my computer being pretty rubbish, it was way too laggy to show you guys. But pretty much you just go in, shoot some goblins, and get out. Basically, it's just a test, but it gives you an idea of what Mirandus has to offer and what they're building. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please remember, none of this information is financial advice, and always do your own research. If you have any suggestions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Gala Games has amazing potential, and if they can continue to develop even through this crypto bear market, I believe we could see great things to come. If you're looking for more information, check out Onchaingaming, our YouTube channel. The link will be in the description, as he is a huge supporter of Mirandus, and it's his favourite game that is on the Gala Games network, and has a ton of content explaining what Mirandus is and how it can revolutionise the gaming industry. Thanks again.